it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with you on another new chapter of Maker DxD. And, God, I've had another stressful ass couple of days, to be honest. I won't go into details, but I just need to basically work on this to relieve a bit of my stress. So, yeah, be prepared for that, but not too prepared. This is going to be another chill-ass chapter like the last one. So, yeah, at any rate, let's go through that of a necessary recap. In the last part, Leon was taking that of Tsubasa alongside that of Ryoka to his house to help train and develop their own skills. Unfortunately for them, or fortunately for them, depending on who you ask, they meet that of Leon's parents. That his father, Deshaun Takumi, and his mother, Yuri Takumi, showing that he has quite the loving parents, with his mother being quite, affectionate and his father being strict but not too stern. However, it seems like his parents have some connection to the supernatural and were aware about that of his sacred gear as well. Not to mention, the two girls also find out that Leon and Issei were actually childhood friends growing up. But due to Issei basically becoming more and more like a pervert, their friendship basically strained to the point that Issei completely forgot that he even existed, which broke that of Leon, and it also began that of the rumors of him being a delinquent, when in fact he's the furthest thing from it. Before being comforted by that of Ryoko and also Tsubasa alongside his other blades. With that of the overwhelming emotions, he created that of two new blades, one being that of Proxy and the other being Theory. As explained that he creates blades through that of powerful emotions and feelings, consciously or subconsciously, depending on him. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 11, A Flaming Encounter. Ever since that night of a botched training session, Leon's relationship with that of at least two of Sona's peers members has improved quite a bit, actually. With Ryukai, he was always, soft to, but now he feels a little bit more comfortable around her now. Something also goes to that of Tsubasa as well. Sure, she teases him from time to time, but now he just sees it as, more of an annoyance of a friend messing with him. Hell, the rest of the peerage has basically seen this dynamic, with Tsubaki a little bit both happy and also a little bit jealous. The fact that her crush and the man she loves is basically getting closer to two other girls except her. But she leaves it be for the now, just seeing how happy and how, familiar he is being. Even Sona notices this and can't help but smile, thinking that maybe their training sessions have done well. Speaking of the training sessions, they missed out on the first one. However, as for the second one, instead of going to that of his place, they head to that of a nearby location that he knows that nobody would bother them around, actually. It's basically nearing the farther outskirts of Kuo, actually. Basically an old country road, actually, that leads to that of a former resident house within Kuo town. With Ryukai also knew about this road, given that she's also from Kuo alongside that of Tsubasa, but she never really understood it though. And why is it far out here? And how does Leon know about this place? With Leon basically saying that he used to come up here from time to time when he wasn't spending time with Issei and Irina, that he knew the person who used to live up here. He was somewhat a friend of them, but he wasn't really close with them, to be honest. With the two confused and curious. Before then, they noticed it in the distance. Tons of grass overgrowth across that of stone-like, driveway, actually. And in the center, basically a dried up fountain. And what really is unsettling, as the girls notice it, with basically Oz jaw dropped, and Leon not really that fazed that much. That being a burned down and basically out of shape mansion in the distance, looking like it's seen better days. With then soon Tsubasa saying, "Whoa, this place is creepy, and we're devils, and we've seen some creepy-ass places. Within, Ryoka saying, Senpai, what is this place? Leon having his hands in his hoodie pocket before saying, this house belonged to that of a person who was quite wealthy in Kuo. A lady who basically kind of was the richest person in all of Kuo Town back in the day. It was around when I was in elementary school, actually. Not a lot of people in town knew about her. Some even kept their distance from her, to be honest. But for me, she was really nice, actually. Kind, too. Even to somebody like me, the only people that were kind to me back then was Issei and Irina. But she was the third person who was nice to me outside of my parents and a few other extended relatives. Within, Tsubasa, a little curious, as the brunette saying, sounds like he had a crush on her, saying, shut up. So it was nothing like that. Although he begins to think about a certain something actually about her that he wants to keep to himself. As he shakes his head saying, at any rate, I can't really fully remember her name. I was really young back then. But I do remember calling her by a nickname. I believe it went by Clary-chan. Riko couldn't help but think, Clary-chan? Is that a nickname or... you said it's a nickname. Is it... was saying, if you're asking she was Japanese, no. She wasn't. She was a foreigner. I don't know where, but she was really wealthy. Had beautiful silver hair. Tall and beautiful as well. The only thing missing was basically what in Issei's dumbass words was she didn't have a massive rack. But honestly, all I can remember is her is always being nice to me. Always smiling at me. Nothing more, nothing less. With then Tsubasa saying, so what happened? Within, she remembers, wait, I think I'm starting to remember. It was around that when I was, I think 6 years old, actually. Well, Leon looking down saying, yeah, a mysterious fire basically engulfed her entire mansion. Everything was burning down along with her. Nobody knows on how the fire started, to be honest. All people know is Clary-chan didn't make it. And this place has been here for basically forever. No one in town basically has bothered to get rid of it, given that it's so far out. No tourist or any other building would basically come. It's just like how the abandoned church is. It's so far out in Kuo Town that they don't even bother tearing it down anyway to make something new, because there's no point. But even so, this will make a better place to work out in instead of heading back to my place. Now knowing that my aunt has been basically telling my parents about me being here. And just when I was being pretty damn, secretive, and I was able to do some pretty good sparring there too. But then Tsubasa saying, well then let's get down to business. Saying, right. Something I've been wanting to basically test out for a while now. But I don't know if it would work though, so I want to see if it does. With then saying, just give us the words. What are you going to do? Do a little bit of workout, training without your blade, saying, somewhat, you're going to train with them, but I also want to do something a little bit. But I want to know if it's okay with you guys. Don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. But then Tsubasa saying, come on. How long have we been hanging out now? With then Ryuka saying, come on, senpai. As a fellow pawn of yours, we need to work together, right? But then hearing that saying, I guess so. Before then saying, all right, come out, guys. Korra, Godfrey. Within, that's when the two blades materialize. The blonde-haired gal blade herself, Korra, and also the ice blade of justice, Godfrey. Within, Korra saying, so we're really doing it? You've been thinking about this for a while now. Is Korra getting excited, basically bouncing on that of the balls of her feet and that of her heels. Within, Godfrey crossing his arms saying, so, I'm the one to be testing this out. What are you up? Let's do this, boss. Within, both girls a little bit confused. As then, Leon having that of a smile on his face saying, I want you guys to basically link up with that of my blades. Use their weapons in combat. Within, hearing that, Tsubasa saying, wait, is that even possible? Within, Leon saying, I'm not entirely sure. But then looking at that of his two blades in front of him, saying, I created them during moments of stress, moments on where I wanted to have that of combat experience and training. With Korra, I wanted to have that of a blade that can heal while also me being up close and personal with enemies. With Godfrey, I wanted to have that of a sturdy and powerful shield while also still basically dealing some pretty heavy hits on my enemies. Not to mention, I've learned something else when creating my blades. Something called, ether linking. Within saying ether linking, it's basically a form of saying magic connection. Basically connecting one's mana to the other. It's that very reason on why I was able to basically move as fast as I did and basically fight on the same level as that of a stray priest and even that of fallen angels. As Leon begins going down a rambling spree, explaining the theory, the connection, the linking between that of mana, the fact that his blades are basically composed and made out of mana as well. Before then he begins to ramble on to the point that, that's when Ryokai and Tsubasa completely begin not understanding him and begin to basically go in his own little world. Within, that's when Korra basically comes up behind that of Leon, before then tapping him on the shoulder, as he soon realized something, before then looking at that of the blonde-haired blade, saying, boss, I think you're rambling on again. Saying, oh, right. Within, Godfrey saying, honestly, I got at least half of that. You're basically wanting to see if you can power up them by using us as the conduits, by having our weapons. Within, saying, yeah, exactly. Like how you guys do with me, I want you to see what you guys can do with them. That's when the two finally realized, so you want us, use their blade, use their weapons, link with them, and then let's see how much of a boost you get from the two of them. With that, the two ladies look at each other before deciding to go with that of the theory. As of course they've been sparring from time to time, but not like this, to be fair. With Tsubasa going to that of Godfrey getting his hammer, and Ryokai basically getting that of Korra's, massive lightning gauntlet. Within, soon, Leon saying, all right, you two, start the link. Within, that's when both Korra and Gore raise up that of their hands, connecting to that of Tsubasa and Ryokai. With soon, that's when the link, they begin to feel that of mana coming into that of their devil bodies. With the two a little bit worried that, since it wasn't demonic magic or anything unique like that, it would basically affect them. But instead, they don't feel that of, pain or agony. Instead, they feel rejuvenated, enhanced, powerful. Within, the weapons that were basically quite heavy in their hands now become light as a feather. With Ryuko basically, throwing out a few punches here and there with the gauntlet saying, wow, this is so light now. With even that of Tsubasa swinging around the hammer like crazy saying, this is amazing. Before slamming it to the ground, creating that of a small ice field around her. With Tsubasa having that of a look of pure and utter joy on her face, is thinking, is this what it's like to have that of a sacred gear? As thinking about that of the only members of, Sona's peerage with that of sacred gears, and Tsubaki as well. With then saying, you two looking good out there. Now then, before then, he decides to bring out his own blade, as instead of bringing out either Newt or Peru, or maybe somebody more familiar like that of Abrona, or Vale, or even Corvin, instead, he decides to bring out that of Percival, as seeing that of the orange samurai-like, blade, before going on one knee, offering up that of his blade, chrono katana for that of his master. Within, basically putting that of the katana to his side, saying, now then, let's do this. Within, soon, the two saying, wait, we had to fight against you? Saying, exactly, come on. Show me what you girls got. With that, the two girls basically look at each other. Before then, they get into battle stances. However, they could feel the ether and mana coming through their bodies, enhancing them. As then, that's when Leon also feels the ether from Percival saying, I am by your side, master. Ready when you are, saying, thank you, Percival. Before that, they begin to clash for the spar. Several minutes later, that's when both girls are basically panting on the ground, with Ryokai basically spread her entire body on that of the ground, back onto the ground actually, while huffing out, panting, with that of Tsubasa basically on her knees, but also looking down to the ground, eyes closed and everything, while still having Godfrey's hammer in her hands. As for that of Leon, he can't help but basically sheath his sword, not even phased, within thinking, damn, I was expecting you guys to basically fight harder than that. You guys have been devils longer than I have. Did you guys not train? With then, soon, Ryokai saying, I've only been without the peerage for about a year or so. And mainly I was getting used to my duties of part of being part of, President Sona's peerage, mainly taking care of duties, being part of the student council, and her goal of basically making a rating game school. Within Tsubasa saying, I do usually work out from time to time, given that I was part of the, track team for Kuo before joining that of the student council and being part of President's peerage too. But when it comes to combat, I'm not that well versed actually. I always relied on my devil strength in case we did have to deal with that as stray devils, but not that much to be fair. Within, Leon's hearing this saying, God, seriously? Seriously, if this is how you guys fight, how the hell are we going to continue dealing with that as stray devils? Within, Godfrey basically sitting right next to that of Tsubasa, as he's just feeling also exhausted, having to put in that of a lot of effort and ether into that of Tsubasa, saying, yeah, the boss has been taking care of a lot more problems and training a lot more than usual. Heck, he's not even doing those devil contracts as much. Within Core, as she's also exhausted, basically on her knees and legs on that of, the ground too, saying, totes. Leon always tries to make us train in spars to get us making stronger. What about when you guys fight against stray devils or even maybe fallen angels show up again? Within, soon, Ryokai saying, that's the thing. We always rely on that of the Grimoire period to take care of stuff like that. With Leon hearing that saying, are you kidding me? With then, soon, Tsubaki saying, nah, it's the coexistence of Kuo Town. Since, Ria Senpai and President basically work together. Sona basically looks after the school during the day. It's the reason on why a few of us student council members are able to skip school and go outside. But given that a large majority of the supernatural doesn't act during the day, only occasionally, we don't run into too many supernatural problems like that of stray devils. It's mainly at night when they're the most active after all. So, and that's exactly when the Grimoire territory shift kicks in after all. Within hearing that saying, that makes so much damn sense now. Within, Leon giving his Chrono Blade back to that Percival, with Percival basically bowing his head, saying, it's inefficient. You guys we're going to be in combat again. Look what happened with that of the whole stray exorcist that came to assassinate the Prez. Within, both girls basically couldn't help but wince a bit, saying, you girls need to get your asses up and start working out. And not just you two, but everybody in the peerage, even Sona herself. She may be a high-class devil, but that doesn't mean anything when a target is strong enough to basically one-shot you. Hell, there's probably going to be a time when we basically run into that of a boss rush. Within, that's when the two realize, wait, is he going into gamer? Within, Korra and Godfrey saying he's going into gamer mode terms now. Before then, as Leon realized what they said, saying, right, simpler terms, we need to keep on training. We're the ones that have to defend that Asona and Kuo Town. No one else but us. She isn't going to make her rating game school if she doesn't have the power to back it up after all. Remember that, guys. Within hearing that, the two realize that Leon is speaking the truth. Within, he am basically huffing, saying, all right then, how about this? Take a break. For the next few days, let's try and convince that of Sona and the others to come spar and train with us and make things easier. And that, with the theory that I can basically pass my blades to others, increasing their strength and power, is correct. It would make things a lot more easier if we get ourselves into more danger after all. Within hearing that, soon Tsubasa saying, all right, you convinced us. We'll do it. But then Ryokai saying, yes, senpai, we won't let you down. We'll try and convince the others to come and train with us too. Within hearing that saying, good. Now then, you guys better get going. And honestly, remember, we still got to get up early for school. Within saying, right. Before that, that's when, as they all begin to head down, Within saying, thanks for the sparring, guys. You get some rest. Within, of course, saying, thanks, Leon. With Godfrey going, you got it, boss. With Percival saying, as you wish, my lord. As they all begin to fade into motes of light. With that saying, all right, catch you guys later. Before, as Tsubasa is already ahead, however, Ryokai stays behind a little bit, saying, senpai, or Leon. Within, saying, what is it, Ryokai? Within, saying, I want to thank you. With saying, thank me? For what? As Ryokai basically fidgeting in place, saying, thank you for helping us and for improving us after all. I didn't think that it was important to basically get stronger because I thought since we're already devils, we would already be strong enough already. Given that devils are superior to humans, or any supernatural creatures superior to humans. So, yeah, honestly, I call bullshit on that. I mean, look at me, for example. With Dan saying, well, you do have a sacred gear in, and I trained myself day in and day out. I took on basically one powerful straight exorcist, but with that of a holy weapon. Within realizing, wait, after all these days, what did you guys do with that holy weapon, that chakra blade? Within hearing that saying, I believe that of President Sona basically decided to, decided to seal it away and then give it to that of her older sister, actually. Saying, older sister? Before realizing, oh, right, her older sister, the Satan Leviathan of the devil race, one of our 4 leaders. I always forget about her sister, to be honest, I won't lie. Ryuka saying, it makes sense, she doesn't like talking about her. Honestly, I don't know reason why. I've been that of an only child my whole life. I won't lie, I always kind of wanted siblings growing up, but hey, sometimes we can't get what we want. With then, Ryuko, a little annoyed at the fact that they're coming back to that of their, king/president, within saying, I just wanted to thank you again for putting all your time to helping me and Tsubasa. If the others knew how much you're basically helping us improve, surely they would. They got their own things to do and their own decisions. If they don't want to get stronger, that's on them, not me. With then saying, anyway, I was only asking about the chakra, thinking that maybe it could be useful. With then saying, oh, I think that's a bad idea, senpai. Saying, reasons being. With her saying, you do know that holy energy hurts us. Anything holy related, magic. Even saying that of the God of the Bible's name. Or having any form of, Christianity or sacred artifacts that are affected to that are basically connected to, specific gods after all. Within saying, so those holy weapons, that holy chakra saying, is not going to be touched. Sorry. That's to be expected. It's just that within thinking about that of his dad, about the certain dances that he used to do with that's similar to that of using chakra-based weapons like that bastard, Flynn, was it? That Calendar called them? Well, whatever. Honestly, within thinking, why don't you go on ahead, Ryuko? Catch up with that Tsubasa. And besides, your parents are probably worried about you being out this late again. With her saying, oh, right, thanks. Before then saying, however, there's something I wish to do to thank you, though. Within him huffing, saying, I told you, you don't need to. Without warning, she comes up right in front of Leon. Before then, kisses him on that to the cheek. And she gets on that of her tiptoes to try and get close to him. Luckily, his head was already down anyway for her to even land her lips on his right cheek. Within, seeing that, as his face begins going quite nuclear red at the same time, with then saying, see you, senpai, as then she begins running like crazy, almost looking like she basically switched to that of a night piece, actually, running so quickly. Before then, blinking multiple times, saying, that just happened, didn't it? Within, soon, a few of the blades saying, aw, Leon got his first kiss. Within, soon, a brother saying, how did it feel being kissed, Leon? Within, Vale saying, it's only a kiss on the cheek. It's not really that serious. As she mentally, in her own mind, saying, I wanted to kiss that of Master first. What the hell? With Newt going, Commander, are you okay? Say, yeah, just wow. As his face is still pretty, flushed. However, part of him couldn't help but smile, thinking, never thought a girl would actually kiss me. Or even within thinking, wait, does Ryukai have feelings for me? Nah, that's not true. I mean, who would like somebody like me like that? I'm just overthinking things. God. Think straight, Leon. Think straight. You got something to take care of. But then, as he slaps his cheeks over and over again, before then saying, after so long in training, I realized something. We have a lack of, long-range blades. With then Dahlia saying, so you finally realized it, sugar. With Corbin saying, I've always said this too, boss. Seriously, why are you waiting until now to basically bring up this problem? Saying, yeah, I know, but I've been busy and also with the whole devil bullshit too. Any rate, I need to think this through on what kind of blades I want to make. And to be honest, given the supernatural, we're going to need to prepare for multiple things happening to us. Given the assassination plot, anything could freaking happen now. So I need to make that of powerful blades that I know that have my back. Or better yet, with it, maybe blades that are basically able to blend in where people wouldn't even notice them. You guys, I've been making you guys a little bit more of a mixtures of humans and other unique abilities and features. But what if I make blades that are purely human? Hell, the only blades that actually look normal is basically Corv and Korra. Sure, there's Proxys and even that of Theory. You can basically just shove it off on them basically being cosplayers. But I don't want blades I need some blades that won't draw too much attention to themselves. That just look like your very average, everyday person. Not to mention, unlike you guys that, can't really change your appearance that much, I should focus on allowing them to change clothes and things like that. Gather information around that of the city while I'm in that of classes at Kuo. I'll probably make something else that can do more, long-range tracking and scouting, which then remembers in that other blade, and just when I brought up those chakras, and even maybe a secret measure with saying, this could work. Oh yeah, as he begins activating Annihilation Maker and begins to create that of his newest blades. with Leon having that of a feral grin of pure and utter excitement and power. Hell, as soon as he creates them, he could feel a huge influx of power coming from that of the creations he's making, as it almost feels overwhelming. But however, he's still standing his ground. This is going to be awesome. Currently, somewhere else, and that's of Kuo. Leaving that of Kuo Academy is that of Issei, alongside a few others from the Grimmery Peerage, like that of Asya, Kiba, and Konako. The only one staying behind is that of Rias and Akano. However, we're not fully focusing on them, but we're focusing on somebody keeping an eye on them. As currently over that of Kuo Academy is that of a flaming bird. With then, soon the person seeing this is that of a young lady. A young lady with that of drill-like hairs, a pink dress, a quite frillious pink dress, and has that of a quite beautiful and cute face, actually. However, if you almost look closer, you would basically mistake her for that of the fallen angel Mid-Elf that Leon fought a few weeks back and was killed by Connor. But nope, this isn't her. It's somebody else. And that's of a room saying, it seems like they're already trying to. It looks like that she's already found out what you plan on doing, big brother. Within, looking back, seeing that of a man with that of a, tacky and messy red suit, showing a bit of his, muscles, his chest muscles, while having that of messy long hair, and around him being that of tons and tons of women, counting at least that of 14 women, actually, but then saying, it looks like my darling Rias is already starting to try something. No reason to keep an eye on her anyway. Whatever she does try, knowing that of the Grimmery family, they'll already be able to stop her before it even happens. Just keep an eye on her a little bit longer, though. Ravel, within, the young lady, otherwise known as Ravel, saying, as you wish, big brother. As she continues to keep on looking at that of Rias, as looking closer into that of the Occult Research Club room, she looks frustrated, angry, pissed, as Ravel couldn't help but basically roll her eyes, saying, of course you would feel that way, Rias One-san. I know my brother isn't really, he's my brother. But I think you're overreacting over something so minor and little. And she was about to continue her thoughts. That's when something changed, as she could feel that of an immense pressure coming from the distance in Kuo, exactly on the outskirts on where Leon is. As she, even though it can't be seen, she could feel it through that of her familiar, as the pressure alone was enough to basically almost douse that of the Firebird. Within, she realized, what the hell? Within, as her older brother was about to have some fun with that of the ladies around him, saying, Ravel, what's the matter? Within, she's saying, it's nothing at all. Just keep an eye on some things. Nothing that is too major. It's nothing that you need to worry about, big brother. Saying, I see. But then saying, but excuse me. I want to check out something myself. I'll be back. I won't be gone for too long. Saying, hold up. If you're going to be going somewhere, at least allow one of the girls to go with you. Saying, and no need for that. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for me to handle. As she soon gives off that of a curtsy with her dress before walking out of the room. Within, Riser couldn't help but basically giggle a bit, saying, trying to be independent already, Ravel? Like that will happen, my dear baby sister. Now then, ladies, since my sister is gone, how about we have a little bit of fun? With many of the girls couldn't help but giggle, laugh, and smirk, with that of looks of lust and other things too. Within, she's saying, Sparks, head to that location. I'll be using you as a teleportation beacon. Just don't go too close, but at least close enough where I can notice. Within, that's when she hears out of a squawk as it coming from her familiar, within saying that power, that overwhelming power from the things I sensed. I sensed that of a huge amount of flame, of fire-like type of energy, lightning, and even a bit of dragon. Something else as well, like almost a power, but not in that of the traditional fire sense, but something else, like wind magic in a way. Within, shaking her head saying, whatever this is, I believe that of Ryuso-ne-san should be able to handle this herself, but it also feels a little bit demonic too, but not entirely. Maybe I should check this out myself in some way or another. With that, she soon noticed her familiar has reached the location and seeing at a perfectly safe spot to teleport, saying, now, teleport. As then that of an orange-like spell circle with a unique symbol that looks like that of a, bird in that of the center. Before then, a pillar of flames engulfed that of the girl known as Ravel. Within, arriving into that of Kuo Town, right in switching out with that of the flaming bird, with that of Ravel. Within, she arriving, saying, the pressure is a lot more, still pretty strong, but a lot more faded than before. With then, as she heads up to that location, walking up the dirt road, saying, man, why am I in such a place like this? I hate coming to the human world unless it's with Big Brother or the others. It's the very reason why I use my familiar here, but as her curiosity wins out, saying, I have to know what that was, or who that was to begin with. As Ravel gets closer and closer, reaching that of the abandoned mansion, and soon noticing that of Leon, but he isn't there alone. As he sees that of, 5 figures. Before then, Leon begins to basically about to pass out, as he soon was caught by that of one of the figures, looking close to be that of a, woman with that of long black hair that looks quite Japanese, actually, almost like the very picture of a Nana Shimiko, the ideal Japanese woman, long black hair, perfect features, and a loving look, almost like that. She could pass off as that of Akano. However, the only difference is she doesn't have a bust size that could basically dwarf a man's head. However, that's when Ravel begins to hear that of the woman speaking, as due to her devil hearing, as this young woman is a devil, of course, saying, you damn idiot, what the hell were you thinking? Creating so many of us already? Then she realized, wow, wait, did she say creating? Did he? Then hearing another voice saying, now, sister, calm down. You know what that of Leon was trying to do? He had so much to create, and it basically drained him too much when he used his sacred gear. Then hearing that, saying, sacred gear? A sacred gear that creates? I haven't heard anything like that. Wait, the only sacred gear that can create is a Longinus sacred gear known as... Before she could finish her thoughts, a quite loud and, voice and obnoxious voice saying, it only makes sense that I was the one who took up so much of our darling master's power. One with immense power like mine it only natural that he would need so much to create somebody of perfection as me. Then soon the two could help but look at that of the woman with that of a look of pure and utter, annoyance and also deadpanness. With even Leon thinking, what the hell was I thinking making her? However, the other two have been quiet, as you could see that of a woman, basically, and looking like that in dragon armor, as she completely stoic and quiet, before looking at that of her maker, within saying, call me if you are in danger and need me for combat. Until then, leave me out of things. Before fading, within soon, that's when That's when the only one left, the one that doesn't look too special, but is, because he looks like that of a lion, actually. But not the kind of lion that you would see with that of a mane of hair, but more like a lion with that of demon-like horns, actually. With then saying, I am here to serve whatever you need, master. Not to mention the fact that he has the kind of, look and scheme to him that Leon has for his common blades. Basically, the blades that he makes with little to barely any energy. As this blade was kind of the leftovers on what he originally wanted to make too. With then saying, I created you guys. Hopefully I have enough energy to get back to the dorms. And it's starting to get really damn late now. I'm not looking forward to basically having to get lectured by that of the dorm staff again. As he is getting back on his feet, a little bit wobbly, before then begin to head out. As then, that's when the others also begin to head out, as they fade from existence. With then, soon, Ravel noticing that of the young man, as he realized that he is a devil, but a reincarnated devil given his energy signature. With then saying, a reincarnated devil created them? He must have Annihilation Maker then. One of the most powerful Longinus sacred gears. The third strongest, if I recall. But then thinking, wait, did that of Rias? No, he's not part of her peerage. Because if he was, she would have noticed him leave that of the old schoolhouse that she uses as that of a front for her devil activities. With that of her other peerage members. So could he be part of Sona and Aeson's peerage instead? I haven't seen Sona in such a long time. I don't really know much about her peerage. As Ravel begins to remember her time with that of the black-haired, glasses-wearing heir to that of the Citri family. As Sona was always stone cold and serious, however, when she was around Ravel, she always acted a little bit more studious, like that of a big sister, trying to teach her ways of devil etiquette and knowledge outside of devil society as well. That there are things a lot more bigger than just being devils after all. Because of this, Ravel basically looked up to Sona as that of a, mentor in one ways or another, outside of just being a big sister figure. So now, seeing at least one of her new peerage members, that wasn't Tsubaki after all, is kind of interesting. Not to mention, made her realize that he's actually quite strong and powerful, possibly even just as, or maybe even more than that of her brother. Before then, she begins to shake her head saying, doubtful, not a chance that he would actually be as powerful as that of Big Brother. As soon as she was about to teleport, that's when a figure saying, oh, you look tasty. Within, she heard that as it coming from distance in that of the forest, as it looks like that of a man. However, the man begins to morph and change as that of multiple mouths come out of that of his back, almost like that of tendril mouths, with that of two blades coming out of his forearms. With then Ravel saying, a straight devil, disgusting. I'll have you know, you filthy rogue reincarnate. I am Ravel Phoenix, first daughter of that of the Phoenix family and third and fourth child of the Phoenix family. And I will not have within, without warning, the guy is already pretty up close to her and was about to basically stab her. However, due to her boasting, she didn't have time to dodge as she was soon stabbed in that of the chest. With then seeing that of the guy's claws in that of her chest. Before then, she spits up a little bit of blood. However, there's nothing but flames coming out of her chest. And then the blood fades too, before then sending that of fireball into that of the guy's face, sending him flying backwards. With then, that's when her wounds begin to heal. However, her, dress, on the other hand, basically has one big ass hole in it. And where the dress was kind of conservative, it basically it also cut right through the middle of her bra, showing a bit that this girl is a lot more stacked than she made herself look like to be. Given the term short stack for a reason, with then saying, disgusting, I can't believe it. I allowed a stray devil to get so close to me. With then saying, you little brat. So you got some healing ability. And you say, Phoenix? So you're one of those noble devil bastards. I thought this was Grummery and Citry territory. Oh, no matter. If I devour you, I'll grow stronger. And once I grow stronger, Big Bro won't have any other reason to basically acknowledge me. With then saying, and Big Bro, acknowledge? What do you mean saying, it's not like you're going to be alive or even conscious enough when I devour you? As soon as he lunges for her again, she prepares that of a fireball once more. Before then, the guy is soon hit in that of the face by that of a lightning strike, sending him flying backwards. Within, Ravel seeing this, wondering, wait, what was before soon? Hearing that of a quite arrogant and somewhat smug voice saying, pitiful stray devil. And normally, wasn't Grummery supposed to take care of things like this during the night? Why is she basically slacking on her job? With then, soon, seeing that of the young man that Leon created, one of his newest blades, a young man with that of red frame glasses, that of short brown hair, wearing that of blue samurai-like armor, which, however, his pants is similar to that of shinobi guards actually, even that of his feet, even that of his, combat boots as well, being tabby shoes. But in his hand, he has that of a bow and arrow. Within saying, nice shot out there, Akos. Saying, I live to please, sir. But still, to think that a little girl was here this whole entire time. That's when the one that looks purely Japanese. However, looking at her attire, she also has that of a mix of a samurai armor and that of a mix of a kimono, upper shirt as well. And also having that of Ghetto Santos after all. See, I told you idiots that I wasn't making shit up. As in her hands is that of a large naginato, spear actually. Basically a traditional Japanese spear that looks like that of a mix of a katana, turned into that of a polearm. With then saying, no one said you weren't, Petrolka, but I was just a little bit, have a hard time believing that somebody else would be here, especially another devil that isn't that of anybody from Rias or even Sona's peerage. And I thought for sure that was just, Ryokai or somebody else in the peerage coming up here. To think it would actually be a devil from somewhere else. With then, soon, hearing that, saying, wait, you're... Saying, do I know you? I never met you before in my life, girl. But that aside, you okay? With her saying, of course I'm okay. I have nothing to worry about after all. After all, I am within. That's when the devil, having that of a huge ass hole in his head, but surprisingly still alive, saying, you're gonna pay for that, you damn bastard! As he was about to lunge again, that's when he's soon cut in two. Within. However, people wonder how he was cut in two, as you would think it would probably be from Petrolka, from her Naginato's weapon, but it actually came from the one with that of the loudmouth personality, the one with basically a full, half naked actually, tan-skinned young woman with that of whitish blonde hair, as her entire dress looks like it's basically composed of wind itself actually, with the frills looking like that of wings, and that of the straps around that of her chest and back are basically wind itself. Not to mention the massive, wing-like amulet circle on her back, as her arms are basically constantly crossed around that of her, well, small but perky chest, actually. With then, soon, the guy basically feeling like he's been cut in half as his consciousness has begun to fade and his very existence. Before then, that's when the new blade basically catches an axe that basically moves so fast that it almost looked like it teleported right into him before teleporting back into her hand. But in fact, she just threw the axe so fast and so strong, the fact that the brain and body did not react fast enough before it finally caught up with that of his body, pain receptors, and his mind at the same time. With then saying, "Damn, I knew I made you strong. Zenobia, you really are something else, girl. I knew I made you strong as a wind attributed blade, but to think you were this damn strong." Saying, "I told you, my power is nothing to play with, master." But still, to think my very first battle with that of a straight devil would be against that of a weak-ass one. I don't even think this one's even powerful enough to even be on my radar. I need somebody more worthy of my time. With then, hearing that, saying, yeah, I get it. Luckily, not using you guys, not draining too much of my energy or you wielding your weapons. So as long as that girl is safe, that matters. The fact that she's a devil is kind of shocking to me. I don't think she's part of Rias' peerage, and definitely not part of Sona, given how long I've been with her. Within, him walking towards her, saying, "Hey, girl, who are..." Before then, noticing the hole in her dress and her ample cleavage for somebody her size. Within, him basically shaking his head, saying, who the hell are you, and why the hell are you here?" But then saying, "At least show some respect. I am Ravel Phoenix, a noble devil and fourth child of the Phoenix family. A reincarnated devil like you should show some..." Saying, "Show some respect? I barely know you, and you're already starting to basically disrespect me when I don't even know who the hell you are. So if you want my respect, earn it. Don't just expect me to give it to you." With then, hearing that, part of her couldn't help but be shocked and blunt by that of the guy's, honesty. In a way, it kind of reminded her a lot of Sona, but in another way, it reminded her of one of the stories she read when she was younger, of a knight who doesn't demand respect, but doesn't give it out so easily. That his respect to others and to him need to be earned. But even with that, he still would do the right thing to help others. As back then, she always had a crush on kind of guys like that, to be honest. Before then, she shakes her head saying, "Sure, whatever. As of now, I have basically sated my curiosity. I'll be heading back to the underworld now," saying, all right, whatever. Just try and be more safe next time, okay? It's not that I don't want to save you again. It's more that I feel like you shouldn't need to be saved. You just become more careful, that's all. So be safe when you're getting back home, right? Okay? With that, he soon walks off. With then hearing all that, as it almost seemed rude, however, she can tell the sincerity by that of his voice alone, that he did want her to be safe. It almost did sound like he was just like he didn't want to save her again, but he just didn't want her to be in trouble or hurt, that's all. When in a way, it made Ravel basically swoon a little bit as her face begins to flush, as looking back at that of Leon, seeing his darkened light skin and spiky black hair, and the frame of his glasses gleaming off of him, to see his amber eyes. With then saying, then saying, "Yeah, what is it?" With then she's saying, "What is your name?" With then saying, "You don't know my..." Well, not to be surprised, noble devil. Someone's already told me about how arrogant noble devils can be. But seeing that you're basically asking my name in respect instead of just calling me reincarnate, I guess I can at least you're actually showing better than what I expected. With then she feeling annoyed that he's just ranting on, saying, "The name is Leon Takumi." And you said your name is Ravel Phoenix. I'll remember that. Just like I said, get home safe, okay? Noble devil or not, things are dangerous out here after all. With that, he continues walking, making her heart race once again, placing her hands to her ample chest, and she couldn't help but basically swoon, looking at Leon, saying, he really does care. As little did Leon know, he would end up gaining that of another little admirer. It would just be a while until she began to act on her own as well. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. Honestly, when I done this chapter, I basically went over it multiple times. Originally, this was just going to basically play off to that of a few little time skip here and there. Basically 3 days before that of Riser basically introducing himself, to that of Reese's peerage and Issei. And then Leon was going to show up basically asking for papers to get some papers for Sona from Reese after all, before then using Newt to basically bitch slap Riser for ignoring him, as he's only just there to just get some work done for the student council and his king. And then Ravel would basically fawn over that of Leon. But instead, I decided to go the more, less annoyed route, to be honest. Have it where Ravel basically, spies on that of Leon, attracted to his power, seeing on how much power he has, seeing that he's the new king of monsters, and also that he's also the kind of noble guy, but with that of a rugged personality and shit like that. Because let's be honest, she literally fell in love with Issei because he showed off his true power in front of her when he fought against Riser one-on-one, and even used the whole holy water bullshit to do anything to save Rias. Honestly, Ravel is attracted to power, but she's also attracted to people that she sees as true nobility when it comes to that of their morals. So I figured, have somebody who's actually a decent human being who worries about others, even though it seems like he doesn't, basically save her instead. So yeah. Anyways, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you get my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All link in the description below. And if you guys want me to do that of a one-shot fanfic on that of the channel, please go to that of my main channel and basically commission me to do so through that of the super comments, after all. And I'll try and get to it as soon as I can. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care.